Talk to me. WSRadio.com.
Welcome to Track Talk, your connection coast to coast and beyond in all the latest news, developments, stake race analysis, and interviews inside the world of thoroughbred horse racing. From California to New York, Florida, and Kentucky, we have you covered. It's post time, live from San Diego. It's Track Talk.
And that's where we are on a Sunday morning. Happy Sunday, each and every one of you. Well, here we go again. As the staple singers would say, let's do it again. And we will today. 8 races at Del Mar, closing out week number 2, day number 10. Just been magnificent racing where the turf meets the surf. Great day of racing back on the East Coast yesterday at Saratoga. Imperial Hint, as Tommy D says, that he could have been an outside danger. He was an outside danger for Matoli. And then we had Chanel Cat for Todd Pletcher at 15-1. And then we had Tax win the Jim Dandy for the other Ortiz brother. On the West Coast, Victor Espinoza wins the Bing Crosby. So congratulations to Victor. Had an opportunity to talk with Victor and do a little video piece after the Bing Crosby. And extremely excited, elated, just had that smile, that skip in his step. And we welcome you on a Sunday morning live from the WS Radio Networks here in San Diego, California, America's finest city. I'm Felix Taverna. My man is getting ready for another towering shot over the right field wall because he's coming up and he's seeing the ball very good. That's Tommy D. Tommy D, a good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Thanks for tuning in on this Sunday. Yeah, what a good day of racing yesterday. What caught my eye was Tax. You talked about briefly yesterday in the Jim Dandy. This horse had a lot of guts holding off Tacitus to get the win there. This is one you got to pay attention to, and that was a great little field you have there. And also, you said Victor Espinoza winning the Bing Crosby on Sistron. Great run there. And Imperial Hint, that would be the talk of the day yesterday in my eyes. Track record at Saratoga. Man, unbelievable. This horse flew out against some good competition, and wow, it closed like a monster, Felix. Unbelievable. Imperial Hint, keep your eyes on this one. Off the bench to run a race like that.
Absolutely. The 6-year-old son of imperialism, Javier Castellana in the boot. Imperial Hint was well conditioned for the Alfred G. Vanderbilt. That was the grade 1 back at Saratoga for $350,000. You go back to Speightstown, who ran a 108. So if he broke the record, Imperial Hint, he ran faster than 1 minute and 8 seconds. You get a time on that race if you can, Tommy D. We go back to 1972, where Spanish Riddle actually set the track record at Saratoga, running it at 108, the same time that Speightstown. I learned yesterday that Flavian Pratt won 4 Bing Crosbys in a row, and he was going for 5 yesterday, and Victor ended that streak. What was the final time, Tommy D?
107.92.
Wow.
Fast. So blistering is what they say.
8/100ths of a second.
And think about how many awesome horses. And the original was set in 1972. So to think about how many horses came through Saratoga, sprinters, that have never broke that record. That says a lot about this horse.
Absolutely. And, now is the time. You have Del Mar, you have Saratoga, 97 days until the Breeders' Cup at Santa Anita. A lot of win, and you're in, like the Bing Crosby ran yesterday and was a part of those win, and you're in Breeder Cup events. You had the Vanderbilt, the Bowling Green, and the Jim Dandy back at Saratoga. I thought the racing was quite exciting here at Del Mar. Just another good day, Tommy D. It's very hard to find anything wrong with the racing at Del Mar, and I mean that sincerely. The track, turf course, I just love this turf course. I believe horses are getting over it quite well. the main track, as we talked about yesterday, might be a little bit heavy, might be a second, two, or slower. I think precaution and safety is at great measure here. What's your take in regard to the track?
Yeah, I thought the track was playing pretty fair. I saw some closers coming through. I saw some of the speed fold up yesterday. So I think overall the turf course is looking beautiful. I think you're right on, one of the nicer turf courses. And then also, the dirt course. I think the track, they're doing a great job. It's got a great vibe here in Southern California after a tough time up at Santa Anita. But that's what we do here at Del Mar. It's the summertime. It's all about having some fun, enjoying the sun, seeing some people, and just taking it all in, Felix.
I don't know about that. I think they're competing big time. I mean, there's big dollars you can see. Our man Drayden Van Dyke wins 3 races yesterday. They're competing at the highest level. I think they're focused. I think the owners want to win at Del Mar. And as we talked about in years past, that I think owners want to win at Del Mar more than most tracks. I mean, they want to win in wherever they run. But Del Mar, there's something special about having a winner. Del Mar coming down. It's more enclosed, and the town has been very good. I went to the Country and Western concert last night after the races, and I was blown away. How many people were at the Country and Western concert after the races with Midland being the headliner? I was totally blown away. It was absolutely pandemonium, a sea of humanity.
Did you do the cowboy boogie?
No, I didn't do any of that. I just sat around and looked at all the beautiful women with their cowboy hats and their cowboy boots, and I found out very quickly that I'm heavily attracted to women in cowboy hats and boots. They just looked great last night. The women of San Diego, just beautiful. You made your stamp. You stamped yourself as genuine last night. And what a nice crowd. I mean, I'm going to just say it was a nice crowd. It was just a nice vibe. Everybody was smiling, having a good time. I think that everybody who put that event on would welcome another Country and Western act. And by the way, going from that to this, the segue, trainer Jerry Hollendorfer is going to be joining us at 9:15 on this broadcast. So he did go to court. He did win. We'll talk with Jerry Hollendorfer about how it feels to be back in the saddle, literally speaking. And we'll do that at 9:15. You're listening to Track Talk. WS Radio is where we could be found every Saturday and Sunday from the hours of 9 to 10 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And if you're a first-time listener like Maria in Atlanta, we welcome you to the broadcast, Maria, or Stephen up there in Del Mar from St. Louis and his lovely lady, Katie. So, Tommy D, what'd you come up with today? I don't know, Saratoga might have a tremendous card back-to-back from a Saturday to Sunday. What'd you think?
Yeah, Saratoga looks pretty good. I'll talk about a couple early races real quick. So if we got anybody playing the early races at Saratoga. A horse I like in the first, number 1, 3 Jokers, Rosario. This is a twirl and candy, so I'm looking at speed here for this first time starter. 6-1. That's number 1. I think this race is open, but I do like the chances there for number 1, 3 Jokers in race 1. And then in race 2, I like number 8, Laser Loop. This horse is dropping down from Clayman 30. Had trouble at the post. 4-1 in Clayman 30. Now we're Clayman 14 non-winners at 3 here. Diodoro, 27% off the claim, 7-2. I like the chances there. The only other one I see is 2 Air on Fire. But the race I'm really looking at is race 11. This is the big race today at Saratoga. This is the Grade 2 Amsterdam. Number 12, Chancelot on the outside. This is a horse everyone's talking about. 91 buyer, first time out. 100 buyer, second time out. This is Jorge Navarro. Very solid here. I think this horse should look pretty solid. It's going to have some speed up front with number 10, Strike Silver. So I do see a couple other horses. Number 6, Nitrous, at a price 17-1, closed in the Stephen F. Foster Grade 1. Steve Asmussen, Santana Jr. get done. So I do like 6 to maybe pick up the pieces here. And then also you got to take a look at the only other one that I really like is number 5, Honest Mischief. This horse was the favorite in the post in the Grade 1. I expect Chad Brown, Juddmont Farms to have this horse ready to fire. That's number 5, Honest Mischief at 7-2. I think this horse could sit right off the pace. So I like the 5, the 6, the 12 in the big race here, race 11. That's the Amsterdam at Saratoga.
So
today.
who's your key horse? I'm sorry.
I'm a little worried about Chancelot. I think it's going up in class. So that's the 12 horse. So I think Chancelot's going to get in the mix, but I think he's going to get caught up too because he's got some speed, and I think a couple other horses might get sent here. So I really like the 5 here. Honest Mischief coming back. Chad Brown bringing this horse off the bench. 30 off the layout, 30% off the layout, and then 6 Nitrous would be the 2 horses. 5, 6. I expect to pick up the pieces here on Chancelot, but Chancelot morning line 3-1. So we'll see.
How have you been seeing the ball at Saratoga?
Yeah, Saratoga. I've been seeing it pretty nice there. I think the weather plays a little bit of a part. Off the track, on the track, the heat. So it's not like the good old Del Mar where we have the Commerce of Day, like you like to say, Felix.
Chamber of Commerce.
Chamber of Commerce Day. But it's always nice at Saratoga. Growing up near there, beautiful time. Just like Del Mar, people are excited to be there in the summertime. Everybody, and just like you said, Del Mar, people want to win at Saratoga. Same thing.
Absolutely. I mean, they go to Saratoga. The folks that go to Saratoga, I think they're more entrenched in the racing at Saratoga, and they live that racing experience through the whole period of Saratoga's meet. Where Del Mar, I'm not so sure. The racing is great, but people are enjoying their restaurants, they're enjoying the beach, and just listening to people that come from out of state that come to San Diego or Del Mar for the season. Oh, no, I'm not coming to the races tomorrow. I'm going to the beach. Or I'm going to SeaWorld, or I'm going somewhere. And, Saratoga, there's no SeaWorld, and there's no beach. So you're consumed with racing. And it's different mentally, isn't it? I mean, when you go to Saratoga, everybody's zeroed in on racing. When you go to Del Mar, well, people might just want to come out and hang out for a while, watch the horses, drink a few brews, and see some, beautiful people. Saratoga, I'm not so sure that's the same case. People are more engulfed with the racing. Is that a correct assessment? Yeah,
I would say Saratoga is definitely more of a horse town. There's things to do in Saratoga, some beautiful places. Lake George right up around the corner. The town of Saratoga, but you're, Felix, San Diego and, right down the road from Del Mar. This is one of the most beautiful places in the world, I believe, and that's why I live here. And not to say Saratoga's not beautiful, it's more country. But yeah, when you go to Saratoga, that whole town is about horse racing. I mean, literally when you drive through the street, there's horses crossing the street. You have to stop for the horses to cross from the barn to the other side when they're training in the morning. So it is a horse town. You go in there, everybody's talking Hall of Fame and whatnot.
Saratoga to Del Mar we go. The Double T, Toby Terrell joins us here as we try to make connection with trainer Jerry Hollendorfer. Toby is not here. He'll be back with us. I think we had him on the line. But when you looked at this card today at Del Mar, you saw 8 races. 4 races are maiden. So what Del Mar is saying is that they're giving a lot of maidens opportunities to break their maidens, and more than likely there are more maidens on the grounds at Del Mar than any other classification. Would you agree with that?
Well, yeah, 4 out of the 8 races today are maidens, so it's a good thing to see. The only thing I could say about that is with these more horses, that means we're going to have more races to fill in the future. So with more maidens coming in, if you have to fill a maiden, that's fine, because then once they get the win, they'll have more conditions to keep moving on to the next level.
Well, you can definitely feel, and we felt over the past couple of years, the shortage of horses. And with the situation in Santa Anita, where a lot of horses exited out of Santa Anita, and they went to different venues, such as Churchill Downs and Gulfstream Park, and even New York. So estimation 400 horses, Tommy, that have left California and went outside the state.
Yeah, it's definitely a concern of ours in Southern California, and we need to keep a band here between all the Southern California owners, trainers, everybody. We got everybody in the place, everybody here, and we're ready to go. We just got to keep the game strong here in Southern California. We got to stick together, Felix. That's the key.
And I think that we will. I think that I think the signal has been sent, and I'm going to leave it at that. All right, we are joined with Hall of Fame trainer Jerry Hollendorfer here on Track Talk on this Sunday, and we thank him a lot. Jerry, top of the morning, how you doing?
Thank you, Fard.
So you're back. You're back at Del Mar. Was it kind of strange coming back to Del Mar, or kind of emotional? What'd you feel like when you went back to work for your first day today?
No, I try to take everything in stride, and so do everybody that's working in this barn. So we try not to get too high or too low, and just try to do our job as best we can.
How'd you do that, Jerry? I know that, last time we spoke, you had 72 hours to get out of Santa Anita, and a lot of people have come to your aid and have your back, and one of those happens to be this radio program. So how is it going, and how does it feel to be back?
Well, it's good to be back. I have to give a special thanks to Dr. Allred for allowing me to stable horses at Los Alamitos when I wasn't having any place to go in Southern California. So actually, if it wasn't for him, I'd be in a lot worse shape than I am.
Well, Judge Ronald Frazier, I believe, San Diego Court on Thursday and Friday ruled that the injunction for your restraining or whatever order that was needed that got you back on the track, and so immediately you're back on. So how do you pick up the pieces? You lost employees, you lost horses. I'm sure you have a plan. How many will you be stabled, and how soon will they be running under your name?
Well, the next entry will go under my name. The injunction was immediate, so the horses that were already entered are still going to run under Dan Warden, and that's the proper way to conduct that business. So the two horses that we're running today will be under Dan's name, and that's I think that's as the rules should be.
Jerry Hollendorfer is joining us on this Sunday. Jerry, you've been great for our radio show, and I've reached out to you 20, 30 times over the years, and you've always been so gracious with your time. Outside of money and outside of losing horses, how much did this hurt you and hurt your soul? How has this action been to you internally with your heart? How do you feel about what has transpired?
Well, you have a certain kind of business, and then it gets interrupted. So it's not just hard on me; it's hard on everybody that's here. And then some people left the stable because of indecision on Del Mar's part, and so on and so forth, and for what happened at Santa Anita. So those cards were dealt to us, and we just did the best that we could, and that's all we do every day. Most of the people that work in this barn that don't do anything else but horses. So we don't have any other interests except for that.
All right. I want to ask you, last time you were on the show, and you said that Tim Rippo gave you 48 hours, 72 hours to evacuate the backstretch, get all your horses out of Santa Anita. We talked about going back to New York. New York offered you an opportunity. You shifted. You sent a string of horses back to New York. Don Chatlos was going to guide your stable back there in New York. Then all of a sudden, New York said, no, we don't welcome Jerry Hollendorfer, and we won't welcome Jerry Hollendorfer. What was that all about, Jerry?
Well, if I knew, I would tell you. I don't really know what happened there. We're trying to find that out as time goes on. But I'm in good standing there. I have nothing against me in New York either.
Well, I can only tell you that there's some officials at Del Mar, and I won't name them, and they're part of the Del Mar Thoroughbred Club, that really think the world of you. And I think that this situation got into the political stream because of all the situations and all the different organizations that are getting involved in California horse racing, like the district attorney in Los Angeles. It could be PETA. It could be the governor. It could be the senators. It's just been one big full court press. But you went to court, and I believe the proceeding took about 40 minutes. Delmar had an attorney. You had Drew Kudo, who represented you as your legal counsel, and you went in. When you first met with Judge Frazier, if I stand correct, he asked for some time to review the case. Is that correct?
Well, yes. Apparently, he thought it was a more important case than just to make a summary judgment in 10 minutes. So he wanted another week to look over all of the things that were turned in, which there was quite a bit of paper turned in by Drew Kudo and Daryl Vienna, and plus the Delmar folks turned in a lot of paperwork, and he wanted to take the time and look at it and make a judgment based on more research, you might say. So I'm grateful that he took the time to do that. And I don't know how difficult or how easy it is to get a temporary restraining order, but I think it's more difficult than people think.
Oh yeah, I mean the judge, really has to make for a great cause. I mean, that's what he's trained to do. He practiced perhaps maybe in law prior to that, and he's trained to make these tough decisions. And without any question, it was a tough decision. So when the judge heard your case, then heard the Delmar's side of it, he ruled on it. When the ruling came down, your first initial emotion. Tell me what you thought of, what came through your mind. What did you say?
Well, when we went in for the final hearing, we thought that we might have a good chance to win. So, I mean, it wasn't like a total shock or anything like that. We thought that we were hoping that the judge was going to take his time and make a decision on our side. So, I mean, we thought that's why he did that. So, it worked out our way. So, like I say, this stable tries to take everything in stride and not get too much into the emotional part of it.
Well, it definitely has been emotional, and I think that you deserve to be back. And I'm speaking for a lot of people, Jerry. As I mentioned, you've been gracious with your time on our radio show for many, many years, even after Shared Belief got knocked out in the Breeders' Cup Classic. You were man enough to come on and share what you thought took place, which didn't go your way and didn't go most of what people thought should have gone. But nevertheless, you've always been a stand-up guy and one of our favorites on this radio show. So will this give you more, more of a pump in your step, getting back now? And I know you lost clients and horses, but I know you can build it back up because you are a solid trainer. In lieu of whatever was mentioned and how they tried to damage your reputation, your counsel, Drew Kudo, came up with how many starts you've had and how many breakdowns you had per 100, 1,000 starts, whatever the case might be. I think people have a lot of running emotions in regard to how they feel about this, but I can say that 90% of the people, 9 out of 10, said that, what they did to you was borderline criminal. So you believe you can pick it back up? I mean, you're mid-70s right now. Can you get your barn and get your operation back to being asked to leave from Santa Anita?
Well, we have a lot of good people working here, so I'm thinking that we could work and at least try to get it back. If we can't, if we can't get across the bridge, then we'll do something else. But I mean, we haven't given up. That's for sure. We wouldn't be here today.
Well, I mean, the message was handed down loud and clear. I'm sure Golden Gate and Santa Anita are extremely interested in this ruling. And
I don't know. That's a matter of speculation. So we'll see.
Jerry. Hold on,
what
Jerry.
Entities have interest and what don't.
Jerry, I just said that they're quite concerned about this ruling. Okay, I mean, what we talked about, and I shared this with Tommy D and the president of the radio network. All I wanted to see in this case was justice and due process. You deserve due process. The way they treated you without having any due process in this matter was horrible. And a number of people come up and said, Felix, don't quit talking about Jerry Hollendorfer because what they did to him was not right. And I think that you gotta play by the rules. If they ask you to play by the rules, you have to play by the rules. But I don't want to go into this, into that realm of my thinking. I want to just say how happy I am, along with Tommy D. Right, Tommy D?
Yeah, welcome back, Jerry. We're glad to have you back in the mix here at Del Mar. I got a couple quick questions for you. I have a question about Basilica. How's she doing, and what's the next spot for her?
Well, we're thinking strongly of running her here at Del Mar. We're going to take her out on the turf course in a few minutes here and work her 3/4 of a mile in preparing for that. So if we don't run here, we would run in Chicago, but I think we'll probably try to run right here at Del Mar.
Nice. Yeah, we hope to see her here. And I have a question. Your success, Jerry, you have such a success with, fillies and mares. Could you talk about that? Some of your best horses, Songbird, Unique Bella, Blind Luck. You've had some great fillies and mares in the mix. What are you doing with, what's the difference that you're doing with these young fillies?
I don't know. We've had good success with colts, too. Maybe not like some of the fillies that we've trained, but, I mean, it's just, maybe it's a matter of what horses people send to us. A lot of people send us fillies, and then, you get a reputation for winning stakes with fillies, and then you get more fillies and maybe not so many colts. But that's all right with us. Everybody loves training a good horse, whether it's a filly or a colt.
Hey, Jerry, this is Felix once again. I just was curious. In the interim, when you had to leave Santa Anita, what were you doing every day? Were you going to Los Alamitos and just checking in and training your horses there?
Yeah, I was doing that, and then I still have a few horses left in Northern California. Then on off days, I was up there looking at those and trying to do something there, get something done there. So I haven't. I've been working every day. I haven't taken any time off.
Well, I mean, that's for the last 20 years, isn't it?
I think it is, yeah. Most all of these folks that are working with me are kind of like that, too.
All right, well, best of luck, Jerry. We're happy that you are back doing what you love. Hall of Fame trainer Jerry Hollendorfer joining us on WS Radio. We'll see you down the road, and thanks once again for your time, Jerry.
Thank you.
All right, Jerry Hollendorfer. And, Tommy D, there are endless amounts of opinions on how you can view the whole situation. And a number of people chirped in my ear about what they thought about Jerry Hollendorfer's situation. And I never wavered because I felt like anything. Even if the man's wrong, he deserves due process. Isn't that what you're entitled to?
Yeah, no, I think, you at least get that opportunity. I think that, some, better warnings and way for him to just get him out of there. He took it to court and he won. And, this is going to be an ongoing battle. This isn't, it's not going to be over from here. I believe it's going to keep going on, unfortunately. But we just got to, stick to the positive and see the positive, especially with so much negative in this game right now. So, welcome back, Jerry. Hopefully everything runs smoothly within the barn, and we have no issues.
And I believe that the situation at Del Mar was completely different than the one in New York or the one in Arcadia at Santa Anita, because Del Mar sits on state property. Del Mar is a separate entity, and the 22nd Agricultural District is the landlord, and the Del Mar Thoroughbred Club in the racing season is the tenant. And so Delmar was in a real tough position because of the state pressure coming down from Sacramento. And it seems like everybody and anybody who knew that a horse had four legs wanted to chime in and give, their ultimatums. We better change, reform, or racing will go by the wayside, just like greyhound racing has gone by the wayside in Florida. And when you say stick together, we need to stick together. So basically, they were getting a lot of pressure from the governor's office, and I'm sure, and I know for a fact that executives were flown up to Sacramento or flew up to Sacramento, and they met with the governors in regard to racing. I mean, hey, there's no window of error in our sport right now. You wanted attention? Well, we got attention. It's not the right kind of attention, but boy, they're looking and they're scrutinizing.
Yeah, definitely. And, I got to say, there is some good stuff, too. There is some great horse people. I know Karen Norton is getting a bunch of people together for a positive, and they're getting out there. And there was actually a larger crowd yesterday morning for people that support horse racing than PETA. So that's a big win, in the mornings. Because, there's people out there, for anybody that's not here, there's people here, and, they're going to be here because, we're the USA, and it's one country. And, we got to stick together as freedom of speech, Felix. So I do get that right for people, but they're just misinformed. And horse racing is a great sport, and there's a lot of great people in it. And like you said, it's all about sticking together and moving forward in the right direction. But you got to do stuff that's right for the game. You got to make changes that people see that is better for the game. So we just got to move forward.
And I agree with that. We go up to Delmar. We check in with the Zapper here on a Sunday morning. Zapper, what's going on?
What's going on is a beautiful morning like we've been experiencing, and a lot of workers this morning, and we're getting ready for turf work. So I'm sure Toby has already been on because of his Sunday schedule with the turf works, but great day of racing yesterday at the track, I thought, and I think we're looking for another good day of racing. It'll be starting with the first race where Arrogate's sister is set to run today. There'll be a lot of buzz about her. She's currently 1-5 on the board. Immediate Impact is her name, and we'll see if she does make an immediate impact. But just a great weekend of racing from coast to coast. Saratoga was very good yesterday, and so was Del Mar, and I'm looking forward to another great day of racing, Felix.
All righty. Toby did not make it here this morning. We had Jerry Hollendorfer, and so we got rolling on a Sunday. So I know that Toby needed to make the adjustments. He might have been on and off, but anyway, we'll catch up with him one way or the other. We were talking about 8-race card today at Del Mar, 4 maiden races, so I would pose the same question that I posed to Tommy D. The reason why we're seeing 4 maiden races, because there's more maidens on the grounds than any other classification?
Yeah, that is so true. It's getting harder and harder to run a claiming horse with this committee deciding whether or not your horse seems fit to run.
Yeah, what's that all about, Zapper?
You know what it's all about is they decided. Give you a great example. Queen BTU was not allowed to run in a stake. She would have been a huge favorite for Andrew Lerner at the end of Santa Anita. They just determined she wasn't fit to run, and she goes to Los Al and actually beats the boys to prove she was fit to run. But they're looking at ex-trainer Mike Pender like he's actually done something wrong. And even if he did enter a horse they deemed he shouldn't have tried to enter, they should have stopped him from at least working the horse and giving him notice. But that's Queen BTU's in a grade 1 today, and she was deemed not eligible. They deemed her not. There's something that was suspicious, and obviously it wasn't, because she came back and won that $100,000 at Los Al, and now she's a long shot today. But Andrew Lerner sees fit for the owners to take a shot in a grade 1, and we're seeing this a lot in the recent month or two, and. So the maidens seem to be the only answer, is run a bunch of maiden races, and they're the ones that are filling right now, so here we are.
Tommy D, are you aware of this 5-panel committee that Zapper's talking about?
Yes, I am. I read something about it. But, yeah, they have to – it's a kind of I don't know much about it. I know that they kind of look through all the horses with the fine.
Do you know if one of those committee members, one of the 5, says the horse is not fit, they scratch him?
I didn't know that.
Is that right, Zapper? Did you tell me this?
That is correct. If one of the people think they're not fit to run, and what really bothers me is some of these horses they have scratched, they haven't even gone and looked at the horse. It just looks suspicious on paper to them. And horses aren't on paper. They're living, obviously incredible athletes, and they should all be looked at before a decision like this gets made. But yeah, it's going to be very difficult going forward to fill a lot of different levels of races, and it just seems like the maiden races, especially the 2-year-olds, are the fresh, horses that they have less questions about. So we're going to see a lot more maiden races in the near future here at Del Mar and going forward to Santa Anita in the fall.
Yeah, without any doubt about that. That is gospel. It's indicative. You look at it, yesterday 5 of them, today 4 of them. So they're going to go ahead and field races, and, you can only play the hand that you're dealt. But let's get to it here. First couple races, Tommy D, you've already talked about the first. But Tommy D, I just want you to put a quick Tommy D pick 5 together.
Sure, let's go for it. Yeah, so
First race?
In race 1, we're going to go with the 6 horse that everybody is talking about. It is 1-5, but we're going to jump on that bandwagon. Immediate Impact for Bob Baffert and Drayden Van Dyke. If I had to take any other shot here, maybe the
3?
The 3, Nora's Joy. It's 14-1 morning line. Mandela, Diaz Jr., you get that break. And then Cherokee Maiden was Dan Ward, Mike Smith picking his mounts. He's going to be aboard there. But I think number 6, Immediate Impact, the way people are talking, Bob Baffert, 46% first start, 48% for 2-year-olds. So 7-5 there, 1-5 right now, as Zap said. So I'd be signaling the 6 there in my pick 5.
What do you got, live odds from the first race at Del Mar?
Yeah.
Nora's Joy, morning line at 3-1. Now what, 11,
It's
14?
14-1 right now. Yep. Tacco is 11-1, was 4-1 morning line. That's the 5 horse for DeSormo. Palma has a horse here. It's 10-1, sitting right at 10-1, and then the Cherokee Maiden's 4-1, sitting right at 4-1 too.
Zapper, let's go to the second race from Del Mar. We got allowance optional claiming. I would assume 1 mile on the turf. Nice purse, $64,000, 3 and upward. Field of 8. Any selection in here?
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on Nora's Joy. This horse, I saw her snappy half mile the other day, and I don't know if Baffert's a single in that race. Mandela's got a nice filly on his hands, so if you're trying to get a little value, you might want to throw Nora's Joy. She'll get that down before the race comes to us. Race number 2, Rinse and Repeat for Steve Knapp is the 6 horse. I like this horse's last race a lot, and Steve Knapp's actually had a pretty nice run of it. Nice year, probably his best of his career. This horse really ran better than the running lines will show us. And the other horse I'm going to look at is Push Through. How can you leave Square Eddie out? I mean, he's just been, as a sire, he's been on a serious roll. Horse won 2 back, a starter race. Last time, the Dr. Troutman race actually was a strong race. Dr. Troutman came back, I believe it was opening day, and ran second at the next level. This horse lost a lot of ground. I'm going to use those 2 horses. It looks like a pretty wide open race, but for me, it's 6 and 5 in a very competitive turf race. Race number 2 for these Calbreds.
Yeah, Push Through. Edward Freeman, Mario Gutierrez, Tommy D. Push Through might be a horse for course at Del Mar. I don't have the stats, but I remember Push Through has won at Del Mar and then has run very, very well at Del Mar. It could have been last season, and just missed at a big price at Del Mar. It must have been, a year ago. But I'm talking about, horses for courses. Definitely. What's Push Through's record look like at Del Mar?
Push Through 6 starts, 1 win, 2 place, 2 shows.
All right, so
5 times out of 6 in the money.
All righty. So you have an opinion in a second, Tommy D.
Yeah. So I do like number 8 wound tight a little bit for Hess and Bejarano, but I do agree with Zap here. I think this race is wide open. I wouldn't be mad at you if you did hit the all button here because there's horses that are at the same level. There's a few dropping. I even like number 4, Shadrach. This horse pretty much could be 3 for 3 on the turf. It got DQ'd in one of them for Tim McCann, so I don't want to totally discount that. It looks like a relative. Ray McCann is the owner there, 6-1. So I like Shadrach. I also like Wound Tight, Rinse and Repeat.
Wound Tight.
Yeah, I think this one's a tough race, Felix. If I had to give you one, I would go with Shadrach at 6-1. I would take a chance there with Tim McCann. Coming on down here, has 1 win out of 7 starts so far.
Yes, he does. He has a win here. A Wound Tight, or is that Skin Tight? The Ohio players. Let's go up to Los Angeles and Casey Kasem with the top 40 at 9:45. Toby Terrell joining us live from Del Mar, where the turf meets the surf. This is a short interruption, then we'll get back to your hitbound music. Toby Terrell, what do you have on this Sunday?
You just nailed, Felix. When you said hitbound, that was bringing back memories galore as my first big client on the bloodstock side of things in this game, Hitbound Stable. And I'll tell you what a great guy he was. Warner Brother Records brought in great acts like the Red Hot Chili Peppers,
Nice.
Green Day,
Nice.
and you name it. And Hitbound. What a note. Got chills just thinking about that.
Yeah, I knew the
But
chili.
anyway, got chills here at Del Mar, too. We had a nice day yesterday. We got a big day today. Jerry Hollendorfer had his first official worker go already. He'll have his second one, and that'll be a big one, Basilica, here on the turf in about 90 seconds. But with all that said,
If you just
we
missed-
got a great 2-year-old race to kick off the day, and we'll look forward to that at 2 o'clock.
Yep. If you just missed the portion of the show, Toby Terrell, we had Jerry Hollendorfer on Track Talk. Tommy D and Felix and Larry Zab all ringing in Jerry Hollendorfer. So he has 2 works there, and that's great. Hey, what do you like today, Tobe?
I'm going to give you a first race cold exacta box. Nora's Joy and Immediate Impact, 2 nice 2-year-old fillies. And then in race 4, we're going to go with a veteran Wind Machine, Spokane Eagle, for Eddie Truman, who needs a win here from the Eagle. The Eagle scratched opening day, I think, to wait for this winning spot here today. And he will be number 7 on your program in race 4. And, guys, just to prove to you how my battery on all levels hopefully doesn't run low. My phone's going to die here any second. The turf workers are coming out. You guys all have a great day.
You got it, Toby Terrell. Thanks for joining. 5 and 6 are maiden races. You got any opinions in regard to this race, Tommy D, or both of these races?
Yeah, so, I think this is a nice little card. 5th race, everyone's going to be on Reedley. This is a Baffert horse, maiden 25% on the claim, nosed out in 2 starts at maiden 50. We're going maiden 40, so 5-2. This is going to be the horse to beat. A couple other horses that on my sheet. The number 10, Mountaineer, dropping down in class from maiden special weight. D'Amato and Valise, 5-1. Bob Bell dropping down from claiming 50. Ellis Talamo. This horse gets bet every time at the window, so something's there, 7-2. Saddle Bar, I know, is getting a little bit of action dropping down and gelding. And at a price, number 4, Red Velour. 3rd and its last, Delgadillo gets here. Sharp workouts, 20-1. So Red Velour possibly could be a little play in there, but everyone's going to have to beat number 8, Reedley, here in race 5.
All right. Hey, by the way, there's a seminar at Milton's today. I dropped by there yesterday. My man Bob Ike was up there, and the place was buzzing. I mean, Milton's, the best delicatessen for breakfast. And just the feel when you go in there. It's a delicatessen. It's like a New York delicatessen. So Milton's up there, and I want to shout out to Chris Massaro today. Saw him at the Midland concert last night. Longtime listener of the radio program, and he has invited us down to Donovan's. He would like to take our whole radio team out to dinner for giving him some solid information during the first course of the year. And then I have my friends Steve and Katie and Norman up there. Charisse and Steve are somewhere within the vicinity of WS Radio, and we appreciate them being here. Zapper, are you still with us right now?
I am, Felix. I've just been, I'm getting that Del Mar chill vibe. The 2 things I find interesting about San Diego is the beer, the craft beers, and the yoga. So I'm practicing one of my yoga moves while I wait to my turn.
I got you. That's pretty sexy. That's pretty damn sexy. All right. So 5th and 6th, Tommy D analyzed the 5th and 6th, the maiden race, 6 furlongs, 3 and upward. I don't know if you did the 6th, Tommy D. No.
I missed. I just did the 5th, but let's
Okay.
let's see what Zap likes in the 5th, and then he can start off the 6th.
Come on, let's compare it. Who do you like in the 5th?
Well, I'm hoping in the 5th race we will all be doing this with Vladimir Sarin is very cagey. We all know that. You know, he's a clever man. I always told him he'd be a super villain in one of those Batman or Marvel comic movies because you got to be really sharp, little diabolical, but absolutely sharp. And he puts over prices at Del Mar when people are not expecting them. And right here in race number 5, I'm hoping we're all going to be high-fiving with the 5 horse. He is high-five. That's his name. He's 12-1, and I think he's got some sneaky running lines going into this race. Originally a $130,000 purchase. This horse has been freshened for this meet, and I think there's a key to, he almost won yesterday's turf race. That 7 horse on the turf came flying at the Dan Blacker horse, and it was a nice price. I'm hoping he gets it done today, and that's number 5, high 5, a 12-1 morning line, and that'll take us to race number 6, and we're talking 2-year-olds long on the turf, so we don't have a whole lot to go by. But I'll tell you, Michael McCarthy looks to have a nice barn of 2-year-olds right now, and he's got a Cairo Prince named, this is the 6 horse, Olive You More. So it's a cute name, Olive You More, and he's by Cairo Prince out of a Malibu Moon mare, and I saw this horse's gate work earlier in the meet, and he just has a turfy action about him. He's a nice 6-1 in the morning line. I just think he might be the right horse. I would also use the 4-horse Governance for Richard Baltus. He had a short 4.5 furlong race. This is a Fed Biz out of a Repent mare, and Fed Biz has been a very good turf sire early in his career. So in a race that looks a bit wide open, I would go 6-4 in race number 6, Tommy D.
Yeah, this one's tough, Zap. I like your point definitely on that price there in the last one, high 5. You caught my eyes. I looked at the owners. I saw Holly and David Wilson, very prominent owners in the game. So good call there. Let's move on to race 6 here. As you said, I think this one's wide open. I had a trouble on this one. When you're going 1 mile on the turf with first-timers, and they're all inexperienced, I feel like you really could hit the button here. But I fell on number 5, Rip City. I love City Zip first time out. You got Baltus and Franco, Little Feather Racing. That was my top choice
Little
here.
Red Feather.
Little Feather Racing, yep.
Little Red Feather.
Is that Little Red Feather? What did I say, Little Feather?
Little Feather. Yeah.
Okay, Little Red Feather. So that's the 5, Rip City. Then the 10, Rail Spitter for O'Neill and Bayerano. Bodie Meister, 125,000 purchase. And then the other McCarthy horse I thought had a look too, the 9, the Stiff at 20-1 here. I just liked the opportunity, McCarthy with these young horses, so I threw a price on there. Yeah. But I could see any horse winning this race.
Hey, yesterday, Tommy D, when you analyzed the pick 5, I talked about the pick 5 the night prior, 20,000. And, it's sometimes you read between the lines and you listen, you tune in. And Tommy D, Toby Zapper gives great analysis. What rang true to me yesterday when I left, you said, the first 5 races at Del Mar doesn't look, plentiful, and, it looks real short price, chalky-like. And I looked at the pick 5 when I was leaving the track last night. I just want to see, because you get caught up in so many races, so much excitement at Del Mar. Your conversation, you're starting to talk to somebody else will come in and interrupt that conversation, and then somebody else will come in and interrupt another conversation, and the ADD is a real serious situation there. But that pick 5 yesterday paid $150, and so a good call. Do you think there's more value on the tail end of this 8-race card? Because the pick 5 will start in race number 4. The pick 6 will start in race number 3, and the pick 4 will start in race number 5. So just looking at this, I think, what it appears to me is that the value might come late. from Del Mar.
Yeah, I agree with that. I could say that that's fair, especially in race 1. You're going to have that 6 and the 3 heavy plays. In race 3, I like number 4 dueling. It should get a lot of play there. And then, I think the later part of the card, race 5, I see wide open. Race 6, I see open. Race 7 is going to be interesting. The grade 1, we'll talk about that. And then race 8, another maiden special on the turf. Going to, all these horses are just figuring this out, Felix. Yeah, they're training well. They got great pedigree. But until they get on the track on race day in front of all the people, that's when you're going to really know if they're ready to run.
All right, Wrecking Crew. Did he win yesterday?
Yes.
All right, was he impressive?
Yes.
Was it a good race?
Yes.
All right. So, Zapper, where's your best bet today?
Well, my best bet comes in that grade 1 Clement Hurst. And by the way, Rail Splitter, the 10 horse in race number 6. I failed to mention that horse. That's the horse to beat. Doug O'Neill, horse had a race, came finishing, wants more distance. If you're spreading like a late pick 5, use that horse. But we're going to go with the 2-1 Secret Spice, second choice on the morning line for Richard Baltus. Little Red Feather Racing. This filly comes into this race the right way. She's had 2 amazing workouts since she's been down here. I think she's a single. Paradise Woods is going to take a lot of money, but I really do believe number 3, Secret Spice, race number 7, the grade 1 Clement Hurst, is today's best, Felix.
Boy, that's going to be a good race, man. I see Drayden has La Force. Garcia has Just a Smidge. Ollie's Candy, ridden by DeSormo. Paradise Woods, ridden by, as you mentioned, Zapper, Mike Smith. So I think we're almost out of here, and so we get our day underway. We want to thank everybody for tuning in, thanking Jerry Hollendorfer for giving up his time, and thanking Del Mar for putting on a great show out there. Week number 10, or day number 10, week number 2, as we close in on the Del Mar summer meeting on this Sunday, July the 28th. So did you find anything that was peculiar when you looked at the 8 races today on a Sunday?
In the last race, I thought it was wide open, too. I saw a number 11, Bodehida, a Great Britain horse, ran third in his field of 15 in Ireland. Baltus brings it over.
If you'd
Equipment
like to
change.
Make a call, please hang up and try
15
again.
to 1.
Help,
Hold on
hang up
there.
and
Just a
then
little
dial-
technical difficulty. Number 9, Zeph, Sheriff Smith. Anytime I see Mike Smith, he's picking his mounts 6 to 1 there. But I like number 11, Bonita, a Great Britain horse, 15 to 1 as a price. A couple other prices today. Race 6, the Stiff. Race 5, number 4, the Red Velour, 20 to 1. Just a couple prices today that I think could hit the board today at Del Mar.
All right, good job, Tommy D. All weekend long, all year long. I think about when I heard the operator come in. The Orlons, Don't Hang Up. Don't Hang Up. Great song in the 60s, right? Stevie up there in Del Mar, getting ready to hit the track on a Sunday morning, Saratoga and Del Mar. It is going to be very, very good. As I was closing in, I want to thank Tommy D. I want to thank Larry Zapp. I want to thank Toby Terrell as well as Wade Taylor. Great work that we've been putting out here. I want to thank Jerry Hollendorfer for coming on. And, it's hard to pick Jerry up, but you know what? It was really cementful and just really stuck like glue. Was his comments was that's all I do. That's all he does. His horses are this man's life. Not only it's his livelihood, it's his life. They do the same thing over and over and over and over again, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. It's all about the horses. So consumed. 5 o'clock, he's the first one. There was a trainer told me that nobody beats Jerry Hollendorfer to the track every morning. He's the first trainer ready to go at 4:45 every single day. I don't think Del Mar wanted to refuse his horses. I think Del Mar was caught between a hard place and a rock. And I really mean that because the state came down. And I talked to a high exec. I told him I wouldn't mention his name, and I won't. But he told me, I like Jerry Hollendorfer. And it was It was tough. It was tough. He's my friend. Jerry's friends to a lot of people. And obviously, Judge Frazier is a friend of his, too. Have yourself a great Sunday. Still plenty of time. The week number 2 coming to a close. Thanks for listening to Track Talk. The Breeders' Cup just 97 days away at Santa Anita. Man, is this summer hot and heavy. We'll check in with you next Saturday right here, WS Radio with Track Talk.
Life is full of misadventures, from car crashes to home fires to getting choked out on the mat. Yes, I said getting choked out because I'm Carlos Kramer, jiu-jitsu competitor, MMA and media personality, and mild-mannered insurance agent. You can follow my adventures on Kick-Ass Radio, and I can protect you from life's misadventures at Kramer Insurance. Home, auto, life, business, and workers' comp. We're at KramerINS.com, and I want you to join my world.
You take your smartphone almost everywhere you go. Now WSRadio.com can be there too. Search WS Radio in the Play Store for your Android devices or iTunes for Apple and download the WS Radio application. WSRadio.com on your phone and in your ear everywhere you go. Download the WS Radio application. Do it now. It's very easy. WSRadio.com.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813.